thought about making a video on sewing machine thread, but I realized that's kind of boring because I only use one kind of thread, polyester. So instead of that, I'm gonna tell you about when I watched the OJ Simpson verdict live in my predominantly white classroom in elementary school, and my teacher yelled at me. Oh, and one more thing about thread. Yeah, you can get quality thread like Gutermann, things like that, but for the majority of the thread that I use, I just go to Walmart. I get things like Coates and Clark. They're a pretty solid brand, not sponsored. Any average run-of-the-mill thread is gonna do you just fine. Now avoid any thread that comes in those little hand sewing kits that you'll find. Don't use that thread. That is not quality thread. But everything else, yeah, that'll get you by really well. To the surprise of probably no one, I grew up in a predominantly white city. Now back in 1994 and 1995, as we all know, the OJ Simpson trial was all in the news everywhere, and everybody was split on two different sides. And me, being a kid, I didn't really understand exactly why people were on two different sides, but I kind of got the overall gist of it. And me being who I am, for lack of a better term, and where I am, I fit into, well, let's say one side of the argument, because it was on in my house all the time, and I heard a lot of commentary from my family members about, you know, how he was set up, all this kind of stuff. And me as a kid, okay, I guess I could see that. That makes sense. Of course, yeah, it might have been a setup. It probably was a setup, right? So that day in class, if you guys are old enough, some of you will remember this. My teacher wheeled in one of those giant TVs on a cart, and it was when they would have to strap it down onto the cart. That's when you knew you were gonna have a good day. It was gonna be an easy day. My teacher wheels in that cart, and she's like, hey guys, we're just gonna watch this verdict. They're gonna read it today. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, no problem. All right, looking around again, I am the only black kid in the entire classroom, let alone the entire school. And I will never forget it. They read the verdict and I started cheering. And my teacher looks at me, she goes, you be quiet. And I'm kind of like, what, why? Why are you yelling at me? I'm just happy and I'm cheering. Go about my day, no problem. Fast forward as the years go on. Oh, I fit into the whole stereotypical, all the black people thought he was innocent and all the white people thought he was guilty, and she thought that I thought he was innocent because he was set up, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that makes complete sense now. Wow, that's really embarrassing. I wish I could find her, you know, somewhere, wherever she is, and say, hey, I didn't get it at the time. I was just cheering because like it seemed like a victory, quote unquote victory. But now I realize that it was not a victory at all, and he absolutely got away with it. And now you know pretty much what you need to know about sewing machine thread and tailoring your own clothes. Yes, there's cotton thread. I never use cotton thread. I pretty much always just use polyester thread. And you also got to hear my fun little story about OJ Simpson and being that guy. That was fun. SD out, see ya.